Hello, world. This is the Deep End Podcast. This is our first episode. I'm your host, Tyler. This is my co-host over here,
Zach.
That's your name. So we're gonna be talking about the NBA Finals. I think the first thing that we should do is definitely give the Warriors a congratulations because
No.
they earned that.
No. Now let me explain.
Go ahead. You can't even give them a congrats.
Congrats to the Warriors.
What about Steph? You can't congratulate that
I'm
man.
gonna get to Steph.
All right, go ahead.
I want to get right into it.
He's going right into it.
So, Warriors. I feel like they didn't really earn this championship. If we're being real, the Celtics lost the game. The Warriors didn't win it. And I know that sounds dumb. But let me explain. Games 1 through 5. Celtics are playing drop coverage. Now, for those of us who aren't basketball heads, drop coverage on the screen, the guard comes off the screen, the big is just dropping. So there's nobody there when Steph comes off the screen. Why are we letting Steph walk in the pull-up jumpers?
He made the shots, though.
Well, obviously he made the shots. He's an NBA player. I would hope he could walk into
an
a
NBA
jumper.
player. You think that anyone could have just done that and gotten 43?
No, it definitely. That's my point. This is Steph Curry we're talking about.
Okay.
He's not just any NBA player.
Right.
We're talking about the greatest shooter of all time.
Thank you.
And you're gonna let him shoot wide open. That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, why are we doing that? Secondly, here's my second issue. The flopping has to stop. Marcus Smart all game is begging for a call. No one's giving you the flop on Steph. Like, it's just that's Steph Curry. Like, they're not gonna call that on him. Like, you know what I mean?
They didn't focus. They didn't focus on the game
At all.
Marcus let the flopping get to him a little too much.
Yeah, he was just flying all over the place.
He wasn't playing
he
defense
was getting
anymore.
Himself, like, he'd be in the play, and then
he'd get out of the play.
And then he'd be out of the play. Like, it was ridiculous.
So,
another thing.
Go ahead. No, you keep going. Go ahead. Get it out.
Another thing.
I know you're mad.
Problem, the turnovers.
So you can't give the Warriors credit for that.
This is why.
Why?
Because the Warriors are simply collapsing. They're playing elementary school defense. When someone drives, you collapse the paint. This is grade level stuff, and we can't find a way. We can't find a way to beat it. We're supposed to be the best players in the world, and we can't beat the collapse on the ball defense. It just make it make sense. Make it make sense. And with that, I will give it to you. I will give you the floor.
So you don't think the Warriors had anything to do with making them make turnovers? You think they were playing elementary school defense?
That is exactly what I said.
So you don't think Andrew Wiggins was playing lockup? You don't think Gary Payton Jr. or the second was playing lockup?
No. And here's why.
Why not?
Here's why. I was gonna save this for a separate. Okay, I'll ask you this question, and then we'll go back to that.
Okay.
Tatum and Brown, do you think they can work together?
Yeah, I think they're actually pretty good.
And this is why I don't. Because Jaylen Brown is the primary decision maker. He's the primary ball handler. And if you watch the games, a lot of times, Jaylen Brown is just trying to get a bucket. That's all he's trying to do. And I feel like that takes away from Tatum's game because Tatum is great off the ball. And I was noticing a lot of his back cuts, a lot of his curls. He wasn't getting the ball when he was supposed to. So by the time he gets it, Wiggins is already there in position, and now you have to play one-on-one. Versus if he's coming off those and getting the ball when he should on good timing, that gives him a lot of easy buckets to where he can get a rhythm.
Or what if they collapse more on him because they have no other people to worry about?
And now he's getting the ball without he's getting the ball in space. So he has Wiggins on his back. They collapse. He can look for kicks. Versus if you're playing one-on-one and then they collapse, now you have two on you. Versus they're collapsing and you have your guy beat already.
I can see that, but I mean, I personally think, if you.
But I will give Wiggins some credit. He was there.
No, he was.
He was there.
He was
there.
He locked him up though.
That's where you just lose me. Because I feel like Tatum was missing a lot of the shots we normally see him hit. Because
isn't that what getting locked up is? Isn't that what it is?
No, because Wiggins wasn't necessarily stopping him.
He was just missing.
He was just missing.
Why was he missing?
Because he didn't have a rhythm.
Why didn't he have a rhythm?
Because he was rattled.
Because of Wiggins.
Because Tatum just isn't like that. I said it.
He's not like that. So you don't think he could be the number one option on their team for a championship?
I think he could if they get rid of Jaylen Brown.
You don't think it's his fault?
I think it's more on Jaylen Brown.
You do?
Because he was just forcing. Like, he was trying to play hero ball. I know I sound like an old head when I say that, but at some point you got to get off the rock. Like, and then Tatum just seemed frustrated at one point. He was just like, he didn't even care to get the ball, and that's when you know you got him. That's when you know you got him. When he's not even trying to get the ball, like, it's like, it was just over. But on the Warriors note, I do want to give the Warriors credit, particularly Steph.
Okay.
You know what last night showed me?
What did it show you?
Steph Curry is a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
I don't think he gets enough credit for how competitive he is. Like, people talking about Jordan, Kobe. Maybe it's time to put.
Yeah, I've heard you just not give him credit for that.
You know, and
you're changing. You're turning over a new leaf.
Last night showed me a lot. You know, to shoot a step back three in the third quarter, and say put a ring on it. That's a bit different. Like, you got to be different. You're shooting turnaround, look away, run down the court threes in the NBA
It's about
Finals
time you realize.
in Boston.
It's about time you realize.
In Boston.
Yeah.
Fourth quarter.
That's what he
Steph
does.
was pretty much, give me the ball and let me go to work.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
But you still don't think that the Warriors' defense had anything to do with them winning?
No, because the Warriors were constantly getting beat off the dribble. That's why they had to collapse, first of all. And then the Celtics were just making bad decisions. If you beat your man and you have the whole team collapse, this should be clockwork. Kick it out, shot.
Then why wasn't it?
Because the Celtics weren't making good decisions. I don't think they were ready for the moment. Their offense was terrible. Like, realistically, you could tell. I'll give Golden State credit for that too. Their system, you know.
Yeah.
They were getting into what does Draymond say? We're getting into what we need to get into.
Yes.
And they were doing that. But the Celtics, it was like, if they did run a set, it was just run the set and then now let me play iso ball. It's like, we're just running this because coach wants us to run this. I'm really just trying to get a bucket.
Yeah.
And then, like, their offense was just messy. Like, it was a messy game 6. Very messy.
Yeah, it was messy. Part. I just think that the Warriors' team defense as a whole was, like, shocking to me. Like, it was very impressive. Like, they were just the more aggressive team.
For sure.
Which is not elementary school defense. They were more aggressive. They were more physical. They played the passing lanes, and they forced them into getting out of their sets. I don't think they let them get to what they wanted.
Gotcha. I see where you're coming from.
I think the Warriors were a lot better of a team than people thought they were.
For sure. I'll give them that.
At least going into the series, because I heard a lot of people talking about how the Celtics were a better team and the Warriors had the better experience, whatever.
Right.
And a lot of people picked the Celtics for that reason. And I don't think that was right to predict, because the Warriors have a deeper team than people realize. I mean, like, you know, Otto, he's a floor spacer, and he's coming off the bench. He barely even plays.
That's true.
But when he comes in, he's effective. We don't have any weaknesses coming in.
You guys do have a lot of great wing defenders.
Yes, we just
which is a good
athletic
matchup for
wings.
the Celtics.
Yes, and they were a good matchup for us because they had wing defenders too. But Steph got buckets because he's
so. I do want to ask you Steph's struggles in game 5.
Yeah, when he shot
game
0 for
5,
9. Yeah.
Do you think that was just Steph had an off night, or do you think?
Well, I think they came out with a different,
completely different game.
Yeah, they came out with a different game plan, and I think, you know, it's gonna, like you said, take him out of his rhythm. And I don't say that in a way of, that it's. That it's their elementary school defense. Like no, like they bothered him with that. Like the rhythm was shaking.
Right.
He wasn't getting to where he thought he would get. Like when he didn't know when the next shot was coming.
Right.
And that can mess with a rhythm for sure. But I will give him, like, I mean, he still had like 22 or whatever.
Yeah.
And he still dominated the game, and other ways, and it just wasn't his best shooting night. Then a lot of people would say like that he can't play with the physicality and all that. Like he just disrupted his rhythm, but obviously he made adjustments and he came back and closed it out.
I do think Steph doesn't get enough credit for his handle, because I get setting up the shot, but getting to the rim, like Steph was getting where he wanted to get yesterday. Like it was bad. Like no one can
move him.
Yeah.
Like he's a lot more solid now.
He's extremely quick, I've noticed. Like I think he's more athletic than people give him credit for.
Yeah.
Like his burst to the rim, like that's how he was getting a lot of layups, just simply running around. Like his angles off the pick and roll are crazy.
Yeah.
Because like if you play up, so I kind of get the drop coverage, but I would have just trapped it. Like
I would have trapped it.
Every ball screen, it would have had to be a trap.
Yeah, I would have been interested to see what would have happened if they trapped it more, because I feel like that's what they were doing more often in like the Memphis series, and
for sure.
Like more teams
were bothering him.
Yeah, but also the Celtics. I mean, even in the regular season, they never blitzed. They were like the bottom.
They were like
percentage of the league who would even play that coverage anyway.
Right.
So then when you get Steph, like, and you think like they've already won championships getting blitzed and him giving it up, and then the strength in numbers is beating you. Like that's always been the narrative. So I can respect that they tried something. It just didn't work.
I just hate that they tried it so late, because I get that Golden State won regardless, but I think you do that. Do you think that the Warriors can beat you for 4 games where Steph is, like if you're hounding Steph, do you think the Warriors can beat, and does Steph have the energy to keep giving you 30 against the
I think Steph would definitely struggle more to average 27 or plus a game getting that type of coverage every night. Especially when, like, in that game 6, the emotions that he could get through more because of the moment. But, I mean, it's hard to tell, because I'm telling you that people were asleep on the Warriors squad. I mean, Jordan Poole is going to get buckets regardless anyway. Like, if Jordan Poole got more looks and he was getting wide open looks because they were blitzing him all game, maybe he would get off he did against the Nuggets. Like, I mean, he was averaging the second most points. Like, so, I mean, I guess we'll never know. But I think there was no other way to put it other than the Warriors were the better team.
I give you that.
And I don't think it's because the Celtics lost. I think the Warriors beat them.
But I don't know.
If that makes sense. Like, you know what I'm saying, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I do think the Warriors are, like, I'm not saying they're a bad team.
You just don't think that they should have won.
I don't think I think if the Celtics played, like, their best basketball.
Well, if anyone played their best basketball, right? If anyone played their best basketball, they would never lose.
Remotely close to how they played in the other rounds. Like, this is a team that swept in that.
And you don't think the Warriors had anything to do with that?
No.
Back to question 1.
No.
Why not? Why not?
Just simply because the Celtics were beating them off the dribble consistently. And then the defense collapsed, and there were so many times they just throw up a shot or just.
What else are they going to do?
Kick the ball out.
And throw up a different shot?
It's drive and kick.
Just drive and kick.
Just drive and kick.
Kick the Al, right?
Just drive and kick.
Wait, you want Al Horford to average?
Then, I want Tatum to be more aggressive.
You got to give him credit, though. I mean, he is 24 years old. Like,
but this is the finals. You don't know when you're going to get back. And the way
it's a good teacher, though.
I don't think that Boston team is getting back.
Why not?
They look like they quit. Like the end of Game 6. Like,
well, yeah.
Before it was even over, like.
Well, it doesn't help when Steph is hitting threes from half court and saying night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's pretty defeating, man.
That's true. How would you feel if you're losing and kid shoots a step back 3 and turns around and just starts running up the court?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like that would be different.
And then you have to guard him. You know you have to deal with this all game.
It's like I always would like think it would be the equivalent of getting like postered on, and then like the guy stepping over you, like all game.
But it's like all game.
Though. Yeah, it's all game. He's not gonna poster you once. Like he's gonna keep doing it.
And I was also noticing Steph is very disrespectful. Like he's trying to embarrass someone. Like there were times I felt like Big Al. He had him on the island, and he had Big Al.
Big Al.
And he didn't have to do all that. He really didn't.
Oh, he did.
He really did.
He definitely did.
Because really, he was just doing that, and then he would run right around him. I feel like, why couldn't you just start with the run right around him? Like, you didn't have to.
Because he likes to make
8 hesitations.
He's got to marinate him.
3 step backs.
Because he wants to make sure that Al knows to send help. So, to wrap up, to go back to what we were first talking about, which was, do you think that the Warriors deserve credit for winning that title? What is your final stance now?
My final stance after hearing your points.
Yeah.
I think they deserve some credit.
Okay.
But I do not think, by any stretch of the imagination, that the credit that they're going to get, because everyone's saying this was the hardest
they're getting more
that.
credit now than
And
they ever have.
That's more.
And
I'm not saying they don't deserve credit.
Okay.
But for them to get the amount of credit they're getting now is ridiculous to me.
And that's because you think the
And that's
Celtics
because I
did a
think
better.
the Celtics underperformed.
Okay. It was more on them in your eyes. I get that.
Do you think the Warriors go back next year? This is very early.
No, this is.
Very early.
I'll make this prediction right now. You heard it here first on the Deep End podcast. The Warriors are going to be a better basketball team next year, and they're winning it again. I will say it right now. It is 6/17/2022. By 6/17/2023, the Warriors will have. Steph will have 5.
No comment.
You
No
heard
comment.
it here first.
No comment.
Listen, hear me out. So, the Warriors are going to have James Wiseman next year. After a full training camp and summer league of him getting back on the court, he's a number 2 overall pick. That's the only weakness they even had this year, and they're about to have someone who has the potential to be a dominant big man. He can shoot, he's skilled, and he's athletic. He's going to be a rim protector for them. And like people like Gary Payton and like their role players who are new this year,
Right.
They are going to be way more comfortable next year. Clay's going to be way better next year after having a full training camp and, coming back after missing 2 years and you just get to the finals and win. Like,
Yeah, that is crazy.
that's crazy. Like,
That's
mentally, he's there
crazy.
and his confidence, there's nothing holding him back. He'll be conditioned by next season. He's going to have his rhythm all the way figured out. He's going to play more normal like he
Clay.
used to.
Yeah.
Because he was a little helter-skelter sometimes in the playoffs. He just did stuff that, like, as a fan, I was like, I have to rock with him, but I can't. Like, sometimes Clay's just on a different planet. But that's why I mess with him, too. But anyway, like, dude, it's going to be scary next year. The Warriors, I'm predicting to be back-to-back champs. Steph's going to have 5. And we're going to be talking about, like, them as one of the best dynasties of all time.
Last thing
Go for it.
before we wrap up this finals talk. Where did this finals put Steph?
He's
all
top
time?
10.
Okay, let's start off point guards. Where's he point guards of all
The
time?
best.
I
Name one better. You can't.
I'm gonna say it. And
Why? Just so
it's
you
gonna
can.
it's gonna be hated.
Mhm.
Talent for talent, player for player, skill for skill. Kyrie Irving is the best point guard of all time.
If he could stay on the court.
No. Listen. What does the point guard do?
He brings the ball up. No, he gets buckets.
Who gets buckets better than Kyrie at the point guard position?
okay, that's a broad question. I was just messing with you. What do you mean? What is a point guard? Like, what are you talking about?
Okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the point guard handles the ball most of the time.
Okay,
Who has the best handle of all time?
so that's the criteria to be the best point guard. Is who's got the best handles.
No. Let me just get to it.
Get to the mic so they can hear you.
Okay. What I'm gonna say is, Kyrie and Steph in that matchup in a 7-game series, I like Kyrie. And we've seen it before.
Okay,
We've seen it before.
So wait,
We've
hold
seen it
on.
before.
Listen,
Kyrie
dude.
ate his
Hold
lunch.
on, you
Did
can't.
Kyrie eat his lunch? Did Kyrie eat his lunch?
Listen. So check it out. Let me get this straight real quick. We're gonna get this right.
Let's get it right.
So you said let's back it up because you can't just keep going and then not let me talk about it.
All right, go ahead.
Listen. So you said in a 7-game series you're taking Kyrie. A 7-game series of what? Are the teams equal? Is it 1-on-1? What are you talking about when you say that?
I'm saying the teams are okay. Let's say we have Nets Warriors. Kyrie is getting the best of Steph. Like, okay, the game is about matchups, no? In that Kyrie-Steph matchup, I feel like Kyrie's giving his team more than Steph's giving his team.
No, but I would disagree because the game goes more than just your individual like stat, right? Like,
oh no, definitely.
So you don't think that Steph is giving his team more just being out there?
No, and this is why.
Why?
Because when Kyrie played Steph, we saw it. Kyrie was hurt a couple years, but when Kyrie was not hurt, Steph Curry wanted no smoke with Kyrie.
Okay, so now that Steph can't
Put
guard
Clay on him.
So Steph can't guard Kyrie, that's why he's better. So now it's like, oh, you can't guard me, so you're worse. That's what you're saying, right?
What I'm saying
What are you saying? I want to know.
Well, that's part of it. Part of it is just simply no, that's not the whole thing.
Okay.
Though. Part of it is just Steph can't guard him.
So
part of it. That's just fun to say. It's just fun to say.
Okay,
but
a lot of people can't guard him. He's what?
Unguardable.
He's one of the most unguardable players in the world. Like,
okay, and that's my point.
So is Steph. That's my point.
Okay, but my point is Kyrie is more unguardable than Steph.
Okay, so that's the criteria to be better as a player, right?
No, that's not the criteria.
Then what is the criteria?
The criteria is if you had a skill. Okay, if we took a skill jugular. If we took a jug of skill, right, and skill was a liquid, Kyrie's jug is more full than Steph's jug. At the game of basketball, Kyrie Irving is better.
That's a different argument.
Not saying
so you're saying he's the most skilled point guard.
Okay, let me retract. Kyrie is not the greatest point guard of all time.
You heard it here,
Steph
folks.
Curry is the greatest.
You heard it here first.
Steph Curry is the greatest point guard of all time.
Thank you.
Kyrie Irving is a better basketball player than Steph Curry. Kyrie Irving is better at the game of basketball. At the game of basketball, Kyrie is better. Simply.
Okay.
At the game of basketball.
What do you mean by at the game of basketball? So you mean like as a skilled player, right? Is that what you mean? Oh, that's awkward. We almost had an interruption in the podcast. All right, we're back, everyone. We had a little bit of, a live studio audience. The paparazzi came for us. What were we saying? It was getting heated.
Oh, okay.
So
you said, what do I mean by a better basketball player?
Yeah. Here, get into the mic. Let them hear you.
My bad. I'm very bad with this.
Yeah, you got to get on its level. You got to speak sweet nothings to it.
This is what I mean. When it comes to the game of basketball, the game is very simple.
Okay.
I feel like Kyrie has mastered the game of basketball in the fact that he can get anywhere he wants to get on the court at any time. He can get any shot he wants to get, and he is very skilled at the shots he takes. He's a great finisher around the rim, great mid-range game. There's no weakness in his game, and I think he's a very underrated defender. When he wants to, he can sit. When he wants to.
Why doesn't he want to? Doesn't that have anything to do with a good basketball player?
You know me.
Aren't you all about mindset?
I'm all about mindset.
Then why doesn't he have it?
He's so worried.
About what?
About the offensive end of the floor. When you're that good at offense, defense doesn't matter like that. When you're that good.
You're going off the rails with me here. So listen.
No, I'm playing.
Yeah, you are
Defense
playing.
Defense does matter.
Defense matters. I thought
I'm
dude,
just saying Kyrie.
It's the game.
Okay, if you break it down like this we'll break it down like this. Dribbling. Kyrie.
Okay, I concede on that.
Finishing.
Steph.
See,
dude.
Dude,
I'll bring.
This is where you lose me.
There's gotta be stats somewhere. I mean, I don't know.
You lose me.
Kyrie's pretty dang good too, though.
Pretty dang good.
He's pretty dang good. He's the best, dude.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll give Kyrie the edge on that. That's all he gets, though.
Okay.
What else?
No.
You think he's a better shooter? No. You think he's a better defender? No. You already said that.
Yes, he's a better defender.
No, because he doesn't try apparently. So then anyone you can say that for anyone.
He's not trying is better than Steph's trying.
That is cap.
That's not cap. That's not cap. That's not cap.
That
Steph Curry
such a
can't.
lie.
Steph Curry's a cone.
No, he's not a cone.
Steph Curry is
All right,
a cone.
Pat Bev. We got
Steph Curry is a cone.
He's not a cone. Did you not see him? Like, he was locking up in the finals.
Because he didn't have Kyrie on the other side.
No one stops Kyrie.
But I'm just saying. Okay, and you said no one stopped Steph, but Delly was doing a hell of a job. Let's not forget.
No.
Let's not forget that going into game 4, the Cavaliers were up 2-1 with Matthew Dellavedova guarding Steph Curry. If Matthew Dellavedova is guarding Kyrie Irving,
How many did he average in that series? 26 on his head.
but it wasn't a Steph 26.
What is a Steph 26, dude?
Okay, efficiency
Isn't
matters.
stat just stat? He shot. I think he shot like 40+% from the three. I don't know the exact numbers, but he was not under.
Can you not give me that Delly was giving him some problems? He was being annoying.
No, it was blown up by the media. That's what they just wanted that to be the story. He had one bad game, and then it got blown that it was his whole series was messed up.
This is my
If
problem.
if you take away that bad game out of the averages, he averaged 27 a game, which is more than he averaged in the regular season, and he won MVP.
But didn't Iggy win the MVP of the finals?
Yeah,
So
because
if
of
Steph was going
storyline.
that
I mean,
crazy-
you gotta understand. Like, listen, narrative has a lot to do. This is an entertainment game anyway. At the core of it, I mean, this is all about
That's very
story, and it's there's a lot of drama in it because that's what makes it fun. They blew up the Iggy storyline, and because I mean. And it wasn't even that true. If you look at the stats, he didn't even stop LeBron that much anyway.
No, he didn't stop him at all.
If we wanted to really be
He didn't
fair,
stop
and you
him at
wanted
all.
to say who the real best player of that series was, it was
Give it to
LeBron James. But can we get back on topic? You're losing me here.
Okay.
We have to go back to what you said. Is Steph Curry the best point guard of all time?
He's not the best point guard of all time.
Because
He's the
why?
greatest-
Because Kyrie Irving is the
is
best,
the
in your
point guard of all
opinion.
time.
And
Steph
that's
Curry is
because.
the greatest point guard of all time.
And what's different between best and great in your definition?
Great, the story comes with it. The accolades come with it.
The legacy.
The stats comes with the legacy. When I think greatness, I think legacy.
Okay,
When I
that's
think
fair.
best, I think who is the best player.
And
Like,
offensively and defensively together.
yes, but I do think in the NBA, offense is more important than defense. In the NBA, don't even lie. And let me explain why.
Why?
Tony Allen is not considered one of the greatest players of all time. However, if you
First
take
team all defense.
However, if you take a scorer who plays no defense, they get they
Maybe it's
impact
just
the
a more-
game so much more.
Do you think that, or they just get celebrated more for
No,
it?
I think they impact the game more. Because a great offensive player is going to find. There's not much you can do at that level. Let's be realistic. You can bother them, but there's not much you can do to stop them.
So is Jason Tatum that type of offensive player?
I do think he is.
Then why was he stopped
He
by
wasn't
good defense?
Stopped. He averaged 22 a game. He wasn't stopped.
He stopped shooting in the last half. That was stopped.
Yes, that's him not shooting the basketball.
Why not? I thought he was like that.
Why are we on this topic?
Because-
why aren't we on the Kyrie Steph
Okay,
topic?
let's get back there.
Let's talk
it's
about
just
it.
because you keep saying these outlandish takes. Like, you're going for everything is just like hot take. Like, there's nothing that's just like a smooth take. Like, let's get smooth with it. Like,
LeBron James, the greatest player of all time.
stop
and with that,
Stop with that.
we'll see you next week.
No, we're not. No, we're not done. We're not going out like that. We're gonna calm this down. We're gonna bring it to a nice stopping point. All right.
Let's bring it to a nice stopping point.
Our last topic that we were talking about was Steph. Does he go up in the rankings as one of the greatest of all time, right? And we already talked about the point guards. We can get off that. We already know where you stand. Kyrie, in your definition, is a better basketball player, but he's not as great.
Correct.
That's fair. Don't agree, but it's fair. It's fair. I'm not going to sit here and argue. Do you think that Steph is top 10 all time? All players.
Yes.
Do you think
I don't know where he's at.
Do you think he's
because I would have to think about my 10?
Yeah. We won't talk about that. Do you think he's top 7? Off the top of your head, I know we haven't prepared any list, but
I'll give him in the top 7.
And that's how we're gonna wrap this up, folks. Thanks for watching.
However, Kyrie Irving is better. Now you can wrap it up.
All right, we're gonna tackle this next time. Thanks for watching and listening to the Deep End podcast. We're gonna try to make this a thing, and we're gonna talk about some more fun stuff next time. So, it's been your host Tyler and your co-host
Zach, and it was good. It was a good chat.
It was a good chat. Thanks for coming out, man. We're gonna sign off for now. Peace out.
See ya.